Hey guys, this is a quick guide on Phantom Assassin. Let's go over the strength first. So the first strength of Phantom Assassin is that you're able to eliminate single target heroes. You're able to snowball incredibly quick if you get the laning stage down. You have the highest crit in the game, which has to say something. You have an extremely high mobility and you have a high evasion, so every unit hero is really weak against you. Some of the weaknesses are that you have very limited early impact. You want to farm your Battle Fury and farm with the Battle Fury, so before minute 15 or 20 even, you don't have any impact at all in the game. You have a very bad recovery. If you lose the early game, it's going to be really tough to get back into it. You don't really have any tower defense, you have limited AoE damage, of course you have Battle Fury later on and maybe the Shard, but other than that it can be difficult to play against illusion heroes, and you're susceptible to ganks, because other than blink and blinking away to a lane or to teammates, you pretty much don't have any escape. Alright, let's get into the items. So for starting items, I can recommend the Quelling Blade, couple branches, the slippers and tangos. You can upgrade that later on, for example into a Blightstone or something like that. Main goal in the early game is to sustain. Another thing that you can get into is stick. If you play against heroes that use a lot of spells, always get a stick. You don't have to upgrade it, but it's just nice to have. Many times be aware that if people play against Phantom Assassin, they know that you're gonna spam your deck a lot, so they're gonna buy stick. If they're gonna buy stick, they have a lot of mana, so they press a lot of spells, and then you can buy a stick because they're gonna press a lot of spells. So it kind of works in all of the ways. For the early game, we are going to finish the raid band because we have the slots, and we could think about the upgradable magic wand. But it's not necessary in my opinion, but you can go for it if you don't have the slots, or if you know that your what's it called, tree things are not used already. That's cringe. For the early game, we are going to get a Wraith Band, and we're looking maybe to finish the stick if you don't have your Iron Branches used already. At least then you should get the Blightstone, because it also helps you to clear the camps really fast. And in the same matter, we want to get the Power Treads. Power Treads are an essential tool. Do not skip that for a greedy Battle Fury. If you get kicked out of lane, if anything happens, this is the tool that you rely on to farm effectively. After that, we go Battle Fury pretty much in every single game, and we can optionally finish the Blightstone into an Orb of Corrosion. It just allows you to impact the game a little bit and be helpful and like just dagger somebody, and you have a little bit of impact, and also finishes an item sweetly, and you have more armor reductions against towers, against heroes. It's not bad, it's not bad. And then let's look at what we have for the mid game. Of course, we have the Battle Fury. This is when we should have finished it. That's why I'm saying it here again. If you don't have that in the mid game, you're in trouble. After that, you can go Desolator BKB or BKB Desolator. Both works fine. The way you decide this is if you feel super strong and you don't think you're dying from stuns, you go Desolator first to kill the solo targets. If you feel like they have a lot of lockdown, you want to get the BKB. If you're not sure, get the BKB. Then you can go Basher, Aghanims, and even finish the Basher. I think those are great items. You can get Aghanims if you realize that you can kill them anyways, and Basher if you think that you need some extra lockdown to finish off the targets. And then if you finish it in Abyssal Blade, I think you can't really do anything wrong. Situationally, you can get Manta. Manta is a great option if you think that you don't need BKB necessary, or you can even combo it, but you think there is a single spell that you definitely want to get rid of. For example, Silencer ulti could be something like that, or Tree ulti could be something like that. And then you can get Shard against obvious heroes like Timbersaw or Huskar, or heroes that just rely heavily on their passive, and you can lock them down easily. This is also sweet against Illusion. It's not super effective, but it's better than nothing. And then finally we get into the late game. I show here again the Basher. I think this is a great item to finish. It's just such a reliable kill guarantee for many chooky heroes. If you play against heroes like Pugna and Necrophos, you can go for Nullifier. Nullifier is really strong, especially in that patch. You can get Satanic if you feel like you're just having a standoff with certain heroes. Gyrocopter comes to mind, or just beefy heroes that you want to mess with over a long time, and you just think, if I press a button, I'm back to full HP, this is gonna save me. Alternatively, you could go for Monkey King Bar if you realize, okay, I'm playing against, I don't know, Medusa went Butterfly and it's really difficult to kill, and HP is not the problem, we just need to burst her real quick, and then Basher into Monkey King Bar could be really strong. Moonshot is a nice choice if you're completely maxed out. Same thing with TP Boots. If you're maxed out and you think, okay, what else can I buy? Then you get rid of the power threads and swap it into the TP boots. And finally, you can get Rapier. Rapier just settles many things. Like, there are many games that are on the verge of, like, if the next team fight decides you win or lose, you can get Rapier anyways, because if you win it, you just finish, and if you don't, well, you lost anyways. So Rapier, keep it in mind. I think it's completely underrated to go Rapier. And then we're gonna get into neutral items real quick. So for tier 1, I like mana items. I think mana is really underrated on many heroes. One general rule of thumb, by the way, is if you get a neutral item, try to get it into movement speed. So if you're not having one for movement speed, you can get anything else, and mana is really what the hero needs. The hero doesn't need any damage really, or sustain. You're just farming anyways. Like with the tier 1, you're probably gonna have your Battle Fury soon, and you just want to sustain the mana and blink from camp to camp. Tier 2, Vambrace is nice, and what I really like, again, is the, I don't know what it's called, the whip. If you get the whip, you have a lot of mana, you have incredible mana sustain, and you have the movement speed. So this is dream team combo for me. Movement speed item is the, I don't know what it's called. The Ring of Aquila is also nice because you have an aura bonus and some mana sustain. Tier 3 Paladin Sword is nice, the axe and the Titan Sliver, everything. Like, at this point, you want to be tanky, you want to boost your lifesteal, you want to settle kills, or you want to survive. Those are the things. Movement speed and mana are not your concerns anymore. And then tier 4, those are great options. I think if you get Silence, this is just a nice setup for PA, because oftentimes it's difficult to add more to the hero. Like, you're not gonna buy an Orchid, you're not gonna get any other chance to find the Silence, but if you just get an item, you have it. Extra damage, extra attack range for melees is also great. This item allows you to get faster through the map, and don't forget the armor that you get from the agility. It's really nice. And lastly, imagine you have a scenario where you have Archon Scepter, for example, and then you're gonna spam your passive to stay invisible. Maybe you want to go Spell Prism, because Spell Prism gives you the mana if you have an item build. For example, you have Manta and Archon Scepter, and you can blink in fights incredibly quick and just kite them all around. So I think those are the items you should be looking at. And then for the skill build, it's pretty similar in most of the games. The only thing I would vary sometimes is how much you put into the Stifling Dagger. So level 1 definitely you want to have the Stifling Dagger, unless you hold the skill point and you realize you have to run because you contested the rune for no reason and you need it before you die. But other than that, you want Stifling Dagger at least 2 levels, so you can reliably last it from a long distance. And then you want to get Phantom Strike. And then 1 point in Blur, it never hurts, and this value, point in Blur, actually saves you from so much trading trouble. And then afterwards, I really prefer to max the Phantom Strike, because when you level 7 or level 8, the laning stage is over already, and your goal is not to harass any heroes with your Stifling Dagger. You want to boost your net worth, and boosting your net worth means killing camps fast, and the only thing that really allows you to do that is the Phantom Strike. So unless you feel confident and you went an early Orb of Corrosion, or you want to play continuously, or you think you can lane extensively behind minute 10, then you want to get the Stifling Dagger. Otherwise, I would recommend you guys to max the Phantom Strike. Afterwards, I max the Blur. And my reasoning behind that, I get 1 more point in the dagger, and then I max the Blur. My reasoning is, maybe I want to fight, maybe I want to join, maybe I defend quote-unquote a tower by throwing 1 simple dagger, and then the extra range helps. And then I want to get the Blur because I want to move around the map and I don't want to be seen. I want to be cutting waves with my Battle Fury without them even seeing it, because I cut it between towers and I farm the funny parts at the side of the map instead of some random camps where I die. So Blue is really, really nice. Of course, you get the crit in between, and then you just finish the Stifling Dagger, and everything else is explanatory from this. Now for the talents, I really like the Phantom Strike direction. As I said before, like, it kind of makes sense from my idea how to play the hero. I just want to boost net worth. I want to farm and I want to boost the net worth, and I'm not going to do that by having daggers to throw. Then I want to get the Phantom Strike cast range. I think it's better than the Blue Evasion. Most of the games, people are either going to adapt to you or they suffer from your Blue already. So I don't see many scenarios. Maybe if you play against any beasts or anything like that, then you could go for the Blue Evasion. Otherwise, I would go for the Phantom Strike, because you simply have the ability to blink further, get the kills, get in, get out, easy. Level 20 talent, 60 Phantom Strike attack speed, makes more sense than the Stiffling Dagger unless you leveled it. Like if you're funny and you want to go Stiffling Dagger into Stiffling Dagger into Stiffling Dagger, fine. But it's not my not my path. And then level 25, I get the Cap de Crazy Chance, because I think it adds to a hero. Unless you have to kill multiple units, then I think it should be good. Alright guys, let's look into the laning stage of PA. First, we are going to spectate a player which is on the rank of, I don't know, Archon. This should be 2 almost 3k or something like that. I don't know the player, so no hate intended. Tag me if you see this. Let's look into the laning stage. He draws aggro. This is amazing. If you draw aggro, that's actually good. The only little downside is that he drew it into the tower, which makes the lane push a little bit. So we kind of want to think about that. But I think his sorting items are decent. Maybe the magic stick is not that necessary, but it's fine. This is a place where you want to draw aggro. As we can see, the laning stage is moving forward and you want to get the laning stage back and you don't want to get stuck into 2 heroes. So this is definitely a place where you shouldn't be sitting. You just want to get there, draw aggro to the range creep, try to deny the range creep. Okay, but that's not happening. Let's see if he aggro's there. He should aggro, he does. He should aggro again and just bring the wave back as far as he can. Oh, this is horrible. Look at this. The creeps just died, and now he's making a move. He's making a move to posture aggressive into this ace. Maybe he wants to save his silencer, but what's happening is that he's an enemy creep at his ass, and he has 2 of the enemy heroes at him. And there is no creep he's contesting for it. So every damage he's taking is not converted into last hits or gold or anything at all. It's just a really, really bad trade to take, and we want to avoid that. And also this creep, he's hitting it here instead of bringing it further back. And you just want to get the creeps closer to your tower every single time you can. He's throwing a random dagger. Might be fine, might not be fine, I don't know. But this is an opening, for example, where I would be standing here, drawing aggro again. You just want to get the wave back as far as you can. Let's see what happens next. So since the wave is in an awkward position, things happened. And now he's kind of forced to tank a lot and the creeps stack up and he blinked out, even though all of the potential of aggression was already gone. So this is a little bit weird as well. And he should go back to the lane and contest this. There are so many last hits. We need to get those last hits. We're 2 minutes in already and he only has 7 last hits. And now he's focusing a deny over it. And the aggro is completely gone. Like it's so weird. We should have taken this wave and just hold it back into the tower here. And then we can safely farm the creeps. We should try to re-aggro now. Let's see if that's happening. It is not. And we missed that creep, I think. And we missed a bunch of creeps that just escaped here. So as you can see, it's super important as a carry player to understand creep equilibrium and try to hold the wave here as good as you can. We are hitting almost 3 minutes and we are not even on 10 last hits. That's definitely something we need to fix. So the first step for the laning stage is try to mitigate the aggression that you're tanking from your enemies, and this is something you do actively. It doesn't depend on the enemies, it's something you do actively. You draw aggro, you get a good position, you keep your HP full and only take good trades, which means you only take the trades if you have a creep advantage. He should have drawn aggro here again, because what happens now is if you don't draw aggro and you don't look at the creep equilibrium, you're gonna get overrun by a lot of enemy creeps. And right now we're in a position where many creeps are coming in, and as an Axe I would absolutely love to dive this. And now he's not looking at taking the last hits at the safest place where he can. It looks like he wants to save the silencer. And he's tanking the creeps for no reason and holding them up front here. So if I'm a Lina, you can still deny those creeps. We want to get them back as far as we can. And again, we have a scenario where the wave is stacking up against us. So those are the first 4 minutes. We get till minute 5 and then we check how many last hits he has. Look, this is a really common mistake. So what he sees from his camera perspective is that the creeps are not there anymore, so there is nothing to do, quote unquote. But he's not realizing that the next creeps are coming already. The next creeps are going to come from the wave and are going to kill his creep and are going to stay really close to his tower. Instead of taking those creeps and finally getting back some farm he lost, he's deciding to take a fight. And he's trying to decide to take a fight into heroes that out-heal him, that out-damage him, that out-sustain him. And he's losing all of the creeps by it. He's almost out of XP range. Look at us. He's out of XP range now even. So this is a complete troll move, but really common. Many people do this, they completely overextend and they do actions like this. And now you could argue, well, he got a kill. Yes, but first of all, it was really, really risky to get that kill. Second, it took all of your resources. And third, the gold and XP that you get from the creeps alone, by having not even a silencer there, is worth the kill by far. So definitely stick to the lane, fix the creep equilibrium and save yourself. And for the next wave, because he's not looking forward into the game. Now, the next creep waves are pushing back into Aches again. So if they push into him, he's gonna control the wave and he's gonna get all the nice and last hits, and we put ourselves in a risky decision again. We should have caught this creep wave here, deny every single creep we can get, take every single last hit and stabilize it. Really, really stabilize it, because we want to get power threats as soon as possible and actually make a move into the game. Now we're reaching 5 minutes. Let's give him this creep wave just for the dots. Usually I would stop the time here, but there's a creep wave, so we want to be a little bit fair. And then we're going to check how many last hits he has in 5 minutes. 16 last hits. So the very, very first goal for everybody who is below Divine or even Immortal, I think Divine is fine. I hopefully Immortal players do this, is really try to get 25 last hits every 5 minutes you're in. Every single 5 minutes you want to have this as an average. Now, outside from the laning stage, there are a couple more mistakes. He didn't buy any items, if you noticed. Like, he didn't buy himself any items that help him to sustain the laning stage or to get into it. He bought a magic wand, but as you can see, there are only 2 stick charges for it. And there isn't really that much that's gonna be pressed. Of course, Lina is gonna press a couple of spells, but it's not that significant. I feel like it's not worth the investment. And the next thing is, he never really set himself up to pull the creep wave and make small camp blocks or even stacks for himself if there is no creep wave, and he didn't contest the Lotus Pool at all. So to summarize it, stabilize the lane, use aggro really, really actively, only trade if you're in an advantage, and that means you have more creeps than the enemy, and buy yourself regen and items that enable you to lane. Cool. Okay, and now we're going to watch a super over-the-top, absolutely crazy pro, Yatoro, who's playing Phantom Assassin on rank 27 and going absolutely nuts. And this is what we're looking at. So he approaches the lane. First thing he notices, he pulls aggro. And I'm going to stretch it a lot of the times now, but aggro is super, super, super important in the game. So he drew the aggro, he prepped the creep. You have 2 ways to do it. Either you run to it and you hit it and then you dagger, or you dagger it and then you run to it and then you hit it. Anyways, we want to make sure to get the range creeps. We want to make sure to aggro as much as we can. Look, even that single creep, did you see that? He just aggroed that. Here again, I actually have to do this slower because it's so crazy. He's aggroing that creep deeper into his creeps. And then he's aggroing the next wave into his creeps, into his range creep. Look at that range creep. This range creep is gonna get into deny range now, just because he aggroed it. Snapfire has to use a spell, perfectly fine. It's completely fine. But we just wanna keep aggroing all the time and give us the opportunity to do it. Huh? He slightly misjudges it, because Snap, I think, drew aggro to counter play his dagger, but he fixes it. And already we're heading into great start of the game with a lot of CS. And this is really the most important part about the laning stage. As a PA, as a carry in general, you just want to get the last hits. Really sweet move from both players. As you can see, the Snapfire assumes that Yatoro is going to throw a dagger. So if Yatoro throws the dagger now, he's gonna draw aggro right now, and then the creeps follow him and the dagger misses, and then he can go for the deny. Yatoro doesn't throw the dagger, he contests it instead. He uses his auto attack and then he gets the last hit. So really, really sweet mind games already. And of course this is like 10 or 11k MMR, some shit like that. And we have to expect superb plays in the small details. So far, nothing crazy though. The camp gets pulled, he's just trying to contest it, staying rather safe. As you can see, his stick is paying off already with the 9 charges. And this is where he makes his first aggressive move. And we could ask, why does he make his first aggressive move here? One reason is he went for the Orb of Venom because he felt really dominant in the lane, which he turns out to be because he's a Yatoro and he's an absolute god. And the second thing is that the creep advantage just changed. If you see this, he just killed the creep, which means he doesn't really have to do anything. Those creeps are still full HP, and he has 1, 2, 3 creeps here at his side. So if they take a trade now, they have a really, really good chance at dealing high damage and actually getting impact into the game. They get kind of thrown back a little bit, completely fine, that's life. So we go back to it, we sadly lose the 2 creeps, but that's life. I think it's still a good trade, so we're gonna throw aggro again probably. He's pushing the wave into us. Nice. He's connecting the wave back to the range creep. Why back to the range creep, not back to a tower? Because we want to deny the range creep. And let's see. He's probably trying to hold the wave and just reconnecting it. And as you can see again, really, really sweet. One creep lands at the range creep. And this allows him to get the range creep deny. At least there's a probability for it. At least he gives himself the chance. This is always really important. And now we just last hit. If you have creeps under your tower, you just want to last hit them. You don't want to do anything crazy. And as you can see, we are approaching 20 last hits in about 3.5 minutes, which is an absolutely insane speed. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to copy. And we want to keep it as simple as possible. And if he can do it against like 9 or 10 or 11k MMR players, then I think we should be able to do it as well. He's looking at an opportunity. He's looking. He just got his Orb of Corrosion, so it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to play a little bit more aggressive now. He steps in, throws out a little bit, preps the creeps. Now we're having a pushed lane, and this is a scenario where many players don't really know what to do, and they feel overwhelmed and they feel the need to necessarily do something. What we have here is a tempting big creep, so we want to get that last hit, but our Warlock seems to be posturing for a pull, and we could also try to farm this camp, which I've seen a lot of the times, but I think it's really, really bad. Because what's going to happen is that this wave actually dies way, way quicker than many people think, and then you're going to have a meeting wave here again, and you want to farm it and not miss the last hits. So you don't want to be AFK here. We could have taken the big creep, but Warlock tried to pull. He messed up the pull. That's life. So we're just getting back to it. And as you can see, already the wave is connecting. So if your big wave gets into enemy tower and you don't see the ability to deny anything, don't panic, it's fine. The wave is going to come back to you. And we're just chilling, not risking our life, and taking CS. And now he already hit the 25 last hits, and we are pre-5 minutes. This is very, very sweet. Our Warlock tries to pull again. He messes up the pull again. Almost saves it, and we get the big creep. This is also really, really sweet and nice, and he's looking for a crusher. Let's look at this positioning again. Sprout was used, the Q of Snapfire was used, and they don't really have any spells managed to play aggressive, so this means if he goes in for a trade, he's not going to lose the trade. He jumps into it, he has a Orb of Corrosion as well, and the full stick charge. This is definitely a go, and there we get a free kill. Alright, I think this pretty much sums up the first 5 minutes of Yatoro gameplay. We are close to 30 last hits, we are 1 kill ahead, we didn't risk our life, we are sitting at full HP, and we are prepped to really, really boost our shit. He even went Band of Elven Skin. This means he gets an extra 6 attack speed and a little bit of armor. And he is looking to finish his power treads, which are the strongest tool in the early game for Phantom Assassin to farm and to contest script on the lane. Cool. Alright, let's see how our friend at the 2.3, something like that range, transitions into the mid game. We're gonna skip through this a little bit. We're gonna see him play the Laningstage, a little bit wonky, and I think, yeah, he's even that here. And as we can see, the item build and the non-existence of last hits tends to make it a little bit more difficult. He queued up his Battle Fury, and I was really curious which item he would go first. I think he decides to go for the, however do you pronounce that, cornucopia, I'm not even trying that, I think. He went for that. I think this is a better choice than, for example, the Claymore or the Broadsword, but definitely you need the power jets. Big mistake, I think. Because if you get kicked out of the lane now, it's really, really weird to jungle. And now he's holding the wave, which surprises me, because if I would be far back in last hits, like really far back, I would be thankful of every single last hit I can take for free. The laning stage is over now. If they do come to the laning stage, I'm dying every single time. So I just want to push out the lane as fast as I possibly can. Now he's even double stacking it because this guy pulled for no reason. The laning stage is over, and this is an invitation for me as an Axe, as a Lina, to just dive this guy. You press 2 spells on him, he's dead again. Look at the amount of range creep he's just having sit here. And the next thing is, for some people it's still difficult to get last hits on a tower. So this is a really, really disadvantageous situation. If Axe didn't disconnect here, I guarantee you he would have died again. Now he's choosing to be further in the lane, and this is something we have to be really aware of. If we don't have any items on the PA, and we don't have much vision around the lane, then we don't want to be playing that aggressive. I would be really hesitant to be here on the lane. We really need to look at the minimap, but just one void TP, you would be dead. And this is definitely too much. Taking the last hits here should be punishable. It's super nice that he seems to get away with it. But I would hope he dies in the next couple games of that. Just so as he has a learn effect. You cannot solo push with those items. He actually chooses to go for the power blitz, which is nice. But as you can see, even here, he dies instantly. Because there's no vision at all and we don't see the enemies. So you can imagine how afraid I was when he stacked up 3 waves to let him dive into his tower while Axe has Vanguard and just wants to run at him like nothing else. So this is how he closes the Laningstage basically. He goes back to it because he feels like, well, I can jungle anyways, which is completely right. And now we're slowly taking the camps. I'm surprised that he used Blur to farm those camps. I mean, that he's here is obvious, and that he's farming it doesn't really, like, you don't need Lure, I think, to do that. You want to have Lure to take the risky farm, and you don't want the Lure for easy farm. The same thing again. Now it's a rule and not a, what do you say, a mistake. And same thing, he Lures again for the creeps, even though he's at a 10-point regeneration. He maxes Lure, not too bad, but he maxes the dagger, which is really bad, because it slows down his farming speed tremendously. And now we're closing in on the 15-minute mark, and we have 90 CS. We can keep that in mind a little bit and then see what Yatoro has to offer for the same time. Interestingly, he gets his Battle Fury in 16 minutes. He didn't get interrupted anymore, and this just shows the possibility that you have as a carry player. Even if you lose the laning stage and you don't know how to farm or where to farm and when, there's still so much space on the map, especially since they added those new camps. You can just pop off like nothing, dude. It's incredible what you can do. He's looking to go back and forth to the laning stage. I tell you guys, once you have the Battle Fury, you should leave in your games. You should take those ancient camps. Look, they even stacked NTCs them. You just take them and farm them every single minute, and you defend the top wave, and you're good to go. You do this for 15 minutes, you get out with, let's say, a minute 30, you have Desolator, BKB, Basher, Battle Fury, Power Drugs, you destroy everybody that you see. But it's not really happening. So we're kind of just to die in the dead lane. That's, by the way, why it's called the dead lane, because you die there. And he's moving back into it again. I would just be sitting at the triangle. And the next habit that I want you guys to get into is buying wards. Buying wards is so underrated. Just buy yourself a ward and set it wherever you want to farm. You can't expect your teammates, Silencer, 2k MMR to know what's in your mind. Just get the ward, it's for free. This is a patch for carries. Alright, he's pushing out the wave. He almost died here. I think he really got lucky. And he's really hesitant, might be a gentle ward, to farm the ancients. He refuses to take them, in fact. And of course this is going to be a big problem because his net worth is going to be really low. For the item choice, this man chooses to go this at the first, which might be a great item if you think you can solo burst people. But the only guy he could solo burst would be Lina or Lion, and he cannot burst Lion because he has a stun. So in this game, effectively, Desolator doesn't do anything. At least not now. If you don't combo it with a BKB, you're gonna die here every single time you engage. And Void oversteps. He steps. The funny thing about this is also that he's playing in the dead lane again, even though he has an item and managed to get a strong kill. Even if you kill everybody here, the only thing you unlock is this tower, which you don't want anyways, because you don't want to farm in their triangle, you want to farm your triangle. You want to farm here, boost your net worth, get you a couple items, and secure the top Roche on this side and set an Absorber out here. Just boost your net worth. And yeah, do the simple things. I'm gonna skip forward a little bit to see what happens next. What he chooses to do, he sits bottom again, which brings no tempo into the game, it doesn't benefit the game, and he's not in a position to kill anybody right now. Axe kills him from Blade Mail, that's why you need BKB. Lion kills him, Void kills him, and the other guys are magical, so BKB is definitely the item of choice there. Alright, he's farming back. As you can see, those are the most passive camps he could possibly take. Those camps, if they're there or if they're not there, they don't change the game. But if you farm those camps on top, for example, then they're missing from the enemy carrier from the Void, and he cannot farm them, which doubles your effective net worth. And now he's, where is he sitting? He's moving top, which I thought. I think top is the right place. He finally takes the ancients. He is in the right positions. We absolutely love it. And he TP'd back base to defend, which is also a mistake, because once you TP back, you're stuck. You also always want to force a reaction before you do something. Never play reactively, always look for aggression, push until they react, and then you leave. And that's another reason why you need the BKB. Alright, and then we're switching back to Yatoro and see how he's playing. He's keeping the aggro, drawing aggro. His support TP'd out to save the mid lane from creeps, and he's probably dying for it. He is indeed. So don't argue that this is a super easy game and he got carried anyways. It's 6-1. He's losing the game. Let's see how he gets back into it. He's TPing top again. Why does he TP top again? If you die once, it's bad luck. If you die 2 times, that shit can happen. If you die 3 times, you're out of there. Like 3 times, that's a charm. After you die 3 times on a laning stage, you're definitely out of there. Better 2 times. But he just died once, and now he has his support back up again, so he's ready to play. As we can see, he actually chooses the Orb of Corrosion, which is nice if you know that you have the ability to play aggressive. And once he pushed out the creep wave, and there was not anything for him to farm, he chooses to be aggressive.
Radiant's top tower is
Chooses to be aggressive, and gets the kill. Back to the creep wave. Back to drawing aggro. There you go. And TB is top for some weird reason. So, he's dead again. This is another rotation. Shit happens. Let's see how reacts it is. So we died 2 times. I want to see what it does next. He still goes top because he's like, well, the reason I actually died was Terrorblade. But Terrorblade is not there anymore. So, well, I can just sit back there again. Looking for aggressive. Looking to play really aggressive. See the Shaker go in. He's just fighting, he just continues to fight, which I think for us is super unnecessary, guys. Just play your game, farm your creeps, and get into it. Look, he's a little bit behind on the creeps, but still his last hits are way above, I think, what we've seen before. Okay, take the camps, and he's dead again. Now he died 3 times, 2 times, 3 times, I can't even see it, 3 times, and now it's a rule. And not a mistake, so we switch the lane and we just take whatever lane is free. If mid lane is free, we're gonna take it. Bottom lane is free, we're gonna take it. If none of them are free, we're just gonna get jumped. Pushing up the wave, looking for a little bit of aggression, trying to force reactions, but nothing too crazy. And he's heading towards the bot lane because he knew that a lot of people TP top, they fought top and they died, so he's getting there. And we have another wave for us. And he takes the Ancients. 12 minutes in, even without a Battle Fury, he grabs the Ancients. And now we have the Battle Fury. Look at the time difference. We don't have it yet. We don't have it quite yet, my mistake. We're still farming Ancients. And he looks for a fight, but he's really hesitant. So would I hopefully be. This guy dies, and we are. Maybe if they overextend? No, we are. So the main thing that we can learn from that is Yatoro seems to be willing to take fights, but he's not forcing it. Like, he's not looking to get into it only if people give him an opportunity to do it. And for example, the fight he had with the Snapfire on mid lane, it just showed how comfortable he was with his limits. He knew he can jump on her, go back, jump on her, go back, without dying, because he knew that they used TP, they used spells on the top area where they fought already. And then only if they dive the tower, he actually reveals himself and fights, and then immediately back offs again to try to minimize the risk as good as he can. And this is another great situation. This Shaker is just out of position, and that's why he chooses to take the fight. So there's no straight line between fighting and not fighting, but what I can recommend at the beginning phase, if you're like 2k, just don't fight before you get your items, and you're gonna get to 4 or 5k, and then you start to see the necessity of fighting at some points or abusing every single chance that you get. And this, for example, is a chance he gets, and he abuses it perfectly, retreats back, pushed out the wave, and now we can get into things. He almost has a Battle Fury, and then I'm gonna be really interested to see how his farming pattern changes, and if he still plays in the same way or in the same aggression as he did before. Almost dies top again because the rotation is crazy fast, and he got a Battle Fury. So now, from my perspective, if I have the farming item, what I'm going to do is farm, because every single minute you don't farm is really risked gold. He's joining a fight only because the fight was won already. He is here to clean up, not to start anything or to initiate, and the next positive thing that we get out of it is we're landing bottom. And as I preach all the time, we don't want to be in the dead lane, we want to be taking safe farm, and enemy safe lane farm especially. because we can open up this tower, we can move into the other sides of the map, and we can play freely. And we have the Ancients on our side.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
So, finally we start farming the Ancients. This is what I love to see as a carry player. He even gets contested. This is the level that we're at here. He's farming, minding his own business, and he gets contested. Crazy. He's farming that Ancient camp, he's going back to the wave. Now everybody's missing, but Clock just used his spell, so we probably push one more wave, and then we go back to the Ancients. That's what I would like to do. That's what I would love to do. Just move back to the Ancients. Farm it all up. Ah, you remembered well. They played aggressive there before. Maybe I have to be a little careful. Which is, he lingers around the fight and only jumps in when there's an opportunity of a low HP hero. So he's just barely being at the team fight. Really holding himself the opportunity to be there or not to be there and not to risk anything. So this way of soft committing is really impressive. Tried to TP bottom, but he cancelled it himself because he was like, well, I see a shaker, but I don't see much of anything else. Boosting net worth. And by the way, I mean, we're talking here and thinking about where are the enemies, where are we fighting, but if you look at the last hits, this is out farming pretty much everything that we see up till 4k or something. Even if people AFK farm on 2k, they're not gonna get the same results. And I think that's the first thing we want to fix. Learn how to AFK farm and then learn when it's the right time to participate into the game. He's using lure. He got his BKB. So as soon as you get your item, your perspective changes. You're not farming anymore. Now you're a threat. Now you're really a threat. And he's super happy to dive in there, holds his BKB for a while, and realizes he doesn't even really need it. We can just go at them. But having that opportunity just opens up everything. Now we can push mid, we can even leverage this into a tower, and this is just beautiful Dota. This is exactly what we want to do. When we have our item, we want to use it in the best and most efficient way we possibly can. We want to get into a team fight, and ideally we want to get an objective out of it. He managed to do all of those things. To get the right item at the right time, to commit into a fight that leveraged into a tower. Absolutely beautiful, wonderful. I actually love to see that. It's such an impressive way of playing Dota. So much impact. He's going for a shard. Look at that. Will you look at? He gets a shard, and the reason behind the shard is usually either you have heroes with a passive that you want to shut down, or you have a Terror Blade problem. And in this case, we have a Terror Blade problem. If you have illusion heroes, sometimes the shard can be a really effective thing to boost your AoE damage. It's looking for Roche. It's going for Roche. It's probably going to be contested because this is a high MMR game. And look what he does. He cancels the Roche. He smokes with his team, and he sits on the high ground, and he's just chilling. He is just chilling for a while. This principle of soft committing, he's the master of it. He's just sitting there and being like, all right, who do I need to get out of the game to have a simpler team fight? And he chooses the Clock. He's like, this Clock, he's done for. He uses his passive, what is it called, his fan, and he gets into it, uses BKB, tries to look at the Shaker, and look at this. That's the beauty of his gameplay. He goes back. Does he go back? He's chilling. Do you see that? That's chilling right here. That's chilling. And that means we're sitting here and evaluating the team fight. Furion, the Nature's Prophet, just bought back, and Clock bought back. We don't want to run into this fight. We just want to chill and look for single target eliminations. Stronger Dagger. Showing his presence here. Stronger Dagger. Keep them away. And he's sitting in the area. Most people would probably TP out right now. But this guy, look what this guy does. I bet. Yeah, exactly. So he keeps sitting here. He keeps sitting here, waits for another opportunity, jumps in on the Clock. Beautiful. And I wouldn't be surprised if he just kites it as well. Sees the Nature's Prophet out of position. And gets him. And I think now we're done here. Are we? Or is he looking to get back into it? I'm not sure. He takes another wave. And he's back. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, summarize that fight. Don't force it. Like, if you can take Roche, don't force it. Stay in safe distance. Keep being a threat consistently. focus on the low HP targets that have great impact in team fights. Next item he's queuing up is Monkey King Bar. It has to be because of the Terror Blade, of course. This guy went for Butterfly, and we have to deal with it. Again, he has BKB ready. He's looking to engage. He's not looking to jump in and feed, but he's looking for opportunities. He's engaging. He didn't even use BKB yet. Wonderful. Wonderful. Jumping in here. He's next to kill. A little bit hesitant again. So what we can see is that pro players like to hesitate with their commitment. This is a beautiful thing. Alright, so what's on the list now? As we can see, his item, Monkey Kimba, he queued it up, he farmed it. His last hit is incredible high, of course, really high standard. Now he's just sweeping the map, getting some sort of random pickoffs. And now he has Monkey Kimba. This means he feels comfortable with fighting. He even pings the Terror Blade really close at him, and he really thinks he can burst him. He chooses to go for the Shaker first, because Shaker is actually more of a threat in a team fight than Terror Blade. Sure, Terror Blade has the damage, but once the control is gone, the Terror Blade dies as well. Jumps into it, immediately bursts him. Now looks at more fights. Presses the BKB. Look how he saved it. Even in the Shaker kill, he still saved it. It goes at him. Aegis is gone. Cool. He's still going in. Woo, this is gonna be a close one. And he still goes in, and he gets all of them because he's farmed as fuck. He's just incredibly far ahead, and his movement was so clean. Alright, so we saw our friend having an opportunity here to play on the top side of the map and pierce through it, and he's gonna TP back, and I'm gonna show you exactly what this is going to lead into. If you TP back in a situation like this, you have a few problems. First of all, you don't get any net worth because you're locked inside here. And second of all, you actually don't benefit or give anything positive to your team to defend this tower. All you have is a dagger, and this is not gonna stop them at all. What you need in this game is a BKB, and the only way to get this in that game is that you stay top, you push until somebody reacts, and you pray to the heavens that you get out, and then you can use the space on the other sides and open the map up again until you have your BKB. You need to be boosting your net worth. Even let this Rex go, let it fall, let this fall, you still have a tower. Keep pushing, keep farming until you have your BKB, then you can start killing people like Lion, maybe Lena, and you're good to go and suddenly back into the game. So many times it actually happens that people push and they don't do anything. Like they try to push, somebody shows up like a Necro, he Necro presses one spell and they retreat and jungle. This is exactly what you want to count on, especially in low MMRs. You just need your right item timings. This is a consequence of being in the wrong place, basically at the wrong time with not enough net worth, and it's just really rough. So right now I would be trying to poke bottom and get out of the lane as much as possible. But look, he pings top, he's looking to fight, even though he doesn't have the items to kill anything. He's moving outside again, but this is super tricky to be in this top area. I would just use all of the time to farm, and he's just chilling here, which is absolutely weird. He sees them taking Roach. This would have been my cue to push out other lanes, boost and even push one more mid wave if it's pushing back and take the enemy ancients. But look what he does instead. Look what he draws on the minimap. He wants his team to fight, even though he doesn't have an item that allows him to do it. And this is not gonna work. He's gonna try to do something here, defend the tower, and it's like, my damn teammates, they don't want to do anything in the game. I can't even play, and has a horrible time. And that is a classic Dota experience. He initiates on the Aegis that has a blade mail and just gets blown up. And ladies and gentlemen, you just lost yourself a round of Dota 2. And probably regretting that you even queued and having a normal 2k MMR Dota experience. But even though it ends here very tragically and very slowly, because they keep defending high ground and it doesn't work because he keeps initiating on the Aegis of the blade mail. Even though shit like that happens, it doesn't happen to everybody. Let's transition again to Yatoro and see how he handles the late game like a real boss. He fills up his next item slot with a Basher, which I think is a great opportunity here because we want to get to Nature's Prophet, and if he can burst Shaker even through his BKB and this Clockwork Dude before he 4-stuffs, we're really good to go. And of course Thunder as well can be delayed by the Basher, so great item choice. And now he's looking for fights. So once you get your key items, you want to own the map, you want to look for opportunities and create them actively. He's looking for a fight. Let's see how it comes out.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
Forces a BKB,
Top tower is
stays
under
in the area, still
Radiant's
soft commits,
top tower is
takes
being
one tower,
attacked.
still
Radiant's
pings the
top
area
tower
to look
is
for a
being
fight, and decides to leave. So why does he leave? 3 reasons. First reason, we don't want to be stuck in this lane. Opening this tower doesn't do anything for us. Another reason, this actually is the same reason, but since this tower doesn't do anything for us, we want to get another tower, which is this one, which does more for us. The next reason is we have to deal with bottom. Bottom is pushing in, and we want to clear the creep wave. Nature's Prophet has been split pushing all the time. We didn't see it because we were focused on the fights, but we didn't see it. He was pushing it, that's why there's no wave on the minimap. And the third reason is, if he TP's back now, he's probably out of vision, he's still blurred, he has the ability to get a solo kill and actually increase the speed of the game. So we're gonna blur, we're not gonna take the wave, we're gonna wait and see if somebody's there. This camp just died, he's looking for it, nobody's showing up, cleans the wave.
middle tower taking damage.
Sees the Nature's Prophet,
Dire's courier
Nature's
is
Prophet is out.
dead.
Clears another camp, and goes back to the mid lane to the fight. So basically he cleaned up bottom, and he's trying to join the fight again because he still has BKB, and he's almost at his big basher, the Abyssal Blade, and he's really ready to go. He's picking top, still playing in the bottom area,
Middle tower is being attacked.
and now we're really looking at 1 or 2 fights maximum here,
Couriers die with
and then
instant
in closing
middle
again.
tower is under
Smoked,
attack.
looking for kill,
Please, let this
finding nothing, but being so patient here.
Dire's
Look
top tower is
Look
under
how much time he takes himself, or they try to rotate and are really interested in finding somebody on the
tower
map.
is being attacked.
As you can see, alone the fact that they take so long to find something shows how clean the gameplay is from all the sides here.
Tower is under
But
siege.
they found the clockwork, now they can really dive into it.
Dire's top tower is
Cool.
being attacked.
Nature's Prophet is split pushing, we have to deal with him. He's dead, now we can finally push
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
and make a move.
Radiant's middle tower is being
This is just insanity. I already see it. His shake initiates on the PA, but it's actually a mistake. He instantly pops the basher. His BKB goes out. The lifesteal is ridiculous. The Monkey King does its work, and he's dead on the Terror Blade without any buyback, and the Shaker dies as well. What a horrible initiation from the enemies. Unlucky that Yatoro is so crazily farmed with 360 lasted in 33 minutes, even though it seemed like he was fighting the whole time. He still takes the Aegis just to be safe, and
Radiant's bottom tower has
gets the tower
fallen.
properly, gets the high ground,
Radiant's bottom
closes in into the game,
tower is being attacked. Radiant's
settles the deal, the GG is called, and we can count this game as over. It's fountain diving to taunt the enemy. Always lovely to see.
many people whose
And the game's over. Game is just over. Cool. Alright guys, I hope you really enjoyed the video. I put a lot of effort in it. Like, subscribe, and share it. You know the drill. And see you in the next one.